Welcome back to Demolition Worker, where we tear down massive ships. Today we explore the suffocating crampedness of the living quarters. For decades, brave sailors called this incredibly confined space their home. Now, our heavy machinery will completely dismantle their forgotten sanctuary. Stepping inside the exposed hull, you immediately feel the crushing claustrophobia. The narrow steel corridors leave absolutely no room for error. Powerful skid steers are already positioned inside the belly of the beast. They wait patiently to begin the heavy destruction. These compact machines are specifically designed to navigate tight nautical environments. Their hydraulic arms can easily rip through reinforced steel bulkheads. We start our demolition journey right in the main sleeping quarters. Rows of stacked bunk beds still line the rusted walls. Imagine sleeping just inches away from your fellow crew members every day. The sheer lack of personal privacy is truly hard to comprehend. The skid steer roars to life, its diesel engine echoing loudly. Its heavy steel bucket crashes into the first metal bunk. Sparks fly wildly as the hydraulic claws tear the frames apart. Decades of thick paint peel away like dry, dead skin. A rusted locker door is violently ripped from its strong hinges. Forgotten personal items tumble out into the dusty debris below. We find an old faded photograph hidden beneath a torn mattress. It serves as a haunting reminder of the human element. These brave men spent countless months submerged deep beneath the ocean. This tiny metal box was their entire universe back then. The heavy machinery continues its relentless assault on the sleeping area. Bent metal pipes and crushed springs litter the dark floor. Navigating this debris requires immense skill from our expert machine operators. One wrong move could cause a dangerous structural collapse here. Ceiling panels are pulled down with a loud, terrifying crunch. A massive cloud of ancient dust fills the suffocating air. Sunlight pierces through the newly created opening in the upper deck. It illuminates the floating dust particles dancing in the cabin. With the beds completely removed, the true size becomes shockingly apparent. It is incredibly small for a crew of 50 men. The skid steer scoops up the tangled mess of twisted steel. It carefully reverses down the narrow hallway toward the exit. We now move deeper into the ship to the micro kitchen. This tiny galley once fed the entire hungry submarine crew. Heavy stainless steel counters dominate this incredibly tight cooking workspace area. The chefs here worked absolute miracles in such cramped conditions. The skid steer approaches the industrial stove with its bucket raised. The operator carefully aligns the sharp teeth with the metal. With a powerful forward thrust, the stove is dislodged from mountings. The heavy iron grates crash loudly onto the tiled floor. Thick exhaust hoods are violently ripped down from the greasy seat. Years of accumulated cooking oil make the metal shine strangely. The hydraulic claw crushes a row of overhead storage cabinets easily. Shattered ceramic plates and old utensils spill out everywhere around. It is fascinating to uncover these hidden remnants of daily life. Every broken plate tells a story of a rough sea. The machine operator expertly maneuvers around the central support pillar here. The tight turning radius of the skid steer is impressive. A massive industrial refrigerator is the next target for our crew. Its thick insulated doors are pried open with brutal force. Toxic Freon gas was safely drained before we started this demolition. Now the empty shell is crushed like a tin can. The galley floor is now covered in sharp, jagged metal shards. The skid steer pushes the heavy debris into a pile. We clear out the kitchen to reveal the bare structural ribs. The true skeleton of this mighty ocean vessel is exposed. Our next destination is the legendary crew recreation and lounge room. This was the only place for relaxation during long deployments. A faded dartboard still hangs stubbornly on the rusted steel bulkhead. The small wooden tables are bolted firmly to the deck. The skid steer smashes through the wooden tables with absolute ease. Splinters fly through the air as the heavy tracks advance. An old bulky television set is crushed beneath the heavy treads. The glass screen shatters into a million tiny sparkling pieces. This room witnessed countless card games, quiet conversations, and shared laughter. It provided a brief escape from the harsh oceanic reality. Ripping down these walls feels somewhat disrespectful to their lasting memory. Progress demands that this old ship must be recycled. The hydraulic breaker attachment is now equipped on the skid steer. We need to demolish the reinforced concrete flooring right here. the deafening sound of the pneumatic hammer echoes through the hull. Strong vibrations shake the entire structure of the massive ship. Thick chunks of concrete are blasted away from the steel deck. Massive cloud of thick gray dust engulfs the machine. Water is sprayed constantly to keep the hazardous dust levels down. The muddy mixture flows down the slanted deck very quickly. The operator wears a specialized respirator mask for maximum breathing protection. Safety is always our absolute highest priority on these jobs. With the floor removed, we can finally see the lower decks. Dark, flooded compartments wait silently for their turn to fall. The skid steer uses a grapple attachment to grab heavy pipes. These thick brass conduits once carried vital fluids and gases. They are extremely valuable as scrap metal in the recycling market. We carefully sort them into separate bins for maximum profit. The demolition of the living quarters is now reaching its climax. Only the bare exterior walls of the superstructure currently remain. We bring in a larger excavator with a massive shear attachment. It reaches over the top to cut the roof panels. The giant steel jaws slice through the thick marine-grade armor. It cuts through the solid metal like a hot knife. A massive section of the roof collapses inward with tremendous force. The loud crash sends a shockwave through the entire shipyard. Sunlight floods into the previously dark and gloomy sailor living quarters. The sudden brightness reveals the true extent of the destruction. The skid steer continues to work tirelessly in the bright sun. It scoops up the fallen roof debris with incredible speed. We must carefully navigate around the dangerous jagged edges of steel. A punctured tire here would cause a massive operational delay. The operator uses the bucket to flatten out the remaining obstacles. The deck must be completely smooth for the next phase. We discover a hidden compartment behind a demolished wooden wall panel. It contains old maintenance logs covered in thick black grease. These fragile paper records provide a fascinating glimpse into the past. They document the daily struggles of keeping this ship afloat. We carefully preserve these historical artifacts before continuing the destructive process. The local maritime museum will gladly accept these rare donations. Skid steer attacks the bathroom facilities with brutal hydraulic force. Porcelain sinks and toilets are smashed into tiny white fragments. The incredibly tight shower stalls are ripped from their rusted foundations. The copper plumbing pipes are violently twisted and violently snapped. It is hard to imagine multiple men sharing this tiny washroom. The harsh reality of naval life is truly quite shocking. The entire living block has now been reduced to absolute rubble. Mountains of twisted scrap metal surround our hardworking yellow machines. A massive magnetic crane swings over the exposed deck area now. It lowers its heavy circular magnet towards the metallic debris. With a loud clunk, tons of jagged steel fly upwards instantly. The powerful electromagnet securely holds the chaotic mess of scrap. The crane swings the heavy load over to a waiting truck. The power is cut and the metal crashes down loudly. The skid steer assists by pushing the remaining pieces together tightly. Every single pound of valuable scrap metal must be recovered. We sweep the area clean to prepare for the cutting torches. The remaining structural beams must be sliced into manageable sections. Workers in heavy protective gear ignite their powerful oxyacetylene cutting torches. Bright blue flames roar to life in the dusty air. They carefully slice through the thick steel pillars holding the deck. Showers of glowing orange sparks rain down onto the floor. The intense heat easily melts through the hardened military-grade steel. Molten metal drips down like glowing liquid lava flowing freely. Once a beam is cut, the skid steer pushes it over. The heavy pillar falls with a deeply satisfying loud thud. This coordinated dance between man and machine is beautiful to watch. It requires immense trust and perfect communication to stay safe. The sun begins to set over the busy industrial shipyard. Long dark shadows stretch across the devastated deck of metal. Powerful halogen work lights are switched on to illuminate the area. The demolition work must continue late into the cold night. The glowing sparks from the cutting torches look incredibly dramatic now. They light up the darkness like a violent firework display. The skid steer's headlights cut through the thick clouds of dust. It continues to clear the newly cut beams without stopping. We pause for a moment to appreciate the sheer scale here. The entire living quarters section has been completely wiped out. where dozens of sailors once slept, ate, and lived their lives. There is now only an empty, echoing shell of steel. The ghosts of the past have been chased away by machinery. The suffocating crampness has been replaced by the open sky. It is a bittersweet moment for our experienced demolition crew tonight. We destroy these majestic vessels, but we respect their history. The scrap metal from this ship will be melted down soon. It will be forged into new buildings, bridges, and cars. The legacy of this proud vessel will continue in different forms. Its strong steel will serve humanity for many more generations. The night shift crew finally finishes clearing the last debris pile. The deck is now completely bare and ready for tomorrow. We shut down the reliable skid steer and lock the cabin. Its diesel engine slowly rumbles to a quiet, peaceful stop. The silence that follows the loud machinery is almost deafening now. Only the gentle sounds of the ocean waves remain here. Tomorrow we will begin cutting into the massive engine room below. That will be an entirely different and extremely dangerous challenge. But for now, we can rest knowing a hard job finished. The living quarters have been successfully and safely demolished today. The sheer efficiency of these compact machines is truly mind-blowing. They accomplished in hours what would take manual labor weeks. This episode perfectly highlights the hidden realities of deep-sea living. The extreme confined spaces are definitely not for everyone today. We hope you enjoyed this unique glimpse into naval demolition work. It is a tough, dirty job, but someone must do it. Thank you for joining us on this incredible metal-tearing journey. Make sure to subscribe for more satisfying heavy machinery action. Next time, we tackle the massive diesel engines and fuel tanks. Expect massive explosions, thick grease, and incredibly loud cutting noises. This has been another amazing episode of the Demolition Worker channel. So stay safe out there, and we will see you soon.